Thank you. Actually, another kind of analogy I thought about was, this is a place of not alternative facts, but actual facts. So, high school marks the end of compulsory schooling. Thus, graduating from high school is the key to preparing for college, securing a meaningful career, and becoming an informed citizen. Yet more than 750,000 students in the United States and 80,000 students in California fail to graduate from high school each year with their classmates. This hurts the kids and it hurts our country. Imagine if all students in America graduated from high school. What would it mean for them? What would it mean for our country? I'll tell you, it would mean less crime, better health, and a stronger economy. I've been studying the problem of high school dropouts for more than 30 years. So tonight I want to share just a little about what I've learned about the nature of the problem, its consequences, causes, and solutions. First, despite recent improvements, the high school graduation rate remains a problem in the United States, especially among subgroups of students and among some schools. The high school graduation rate actually rose quite dramatically in the first 7 decades of the 20th century, reaching about 70% in 1970, and it's been fluctuating roughly between 70 and 77% over the last 4 decades until a recent upturn. Based on a new and more accurate indicator, the 4-year high school graduation rate in the United States reached 83% in 2015, and in California it reached 82%. Yet there are widespread disparities in graduation rates among different subgroups of students, as this graph shows. For example, limited English proficient students and students with disabilities are much less likely to graduate from high school than other students. In addition, there are vast disparities among schools. There are 1,200 high schools in the United States enrolling more than 1 million students, where less than 2/3 of the students graduate. The second thing I've learned is that dropping out has widespread and lasting consequences, both for individuals and for society at large. Compared to high school graduates, high school dropouts earn about $500,000 less over their lifetime. They're 6 times more likely to be incarcerated. They have a life expectancy 9 years less. They're 2 or 3 times more likely to be on Medicaid, and they're more likely to be poor. And as a result, their children are 2 to 3 times more likely to grow up as poor adults. These private consequences have large social costs and cost to taxpayers in the form of reduced national and state income, reduced tax revenues, increased crime, poor health, reduced political participation, and reduced intergenerational mobility. Economists estimate that a single dropout costs U.S. taxpayers about $200,000 over his or her lifetime, and that a single cohort of 20-year-old dropouts costs the nation $148 billion. Third, the causes of dropping out are complex and long-standing, and therefore solutions to the problem require multiple interventions across the entire educational spectrum. Research has identified a wide range of factors that contribute to kids dropping out of school, including school individual factors such as high absenteeism, poor achievement, and misbehavior, family factors such as low socioeconomic status, school factors such as poor student-teacher relations, and community factors such as high income inequality. These factors tend to operate over time, such that dropping out can be viewed more as a process than as an event, as you can see from this quote from Carlos, an 11th grade dropout. The research on causes suggests several approaches for addressing the problem. The first is to address the social as well as the educational needs of students. The second thing is to start interventions before high school and as early as preschool. And the third is to address not only the needs of students, but the institutions that serve them, families, schools, and communities. Reflecting these 3 approaches are 3 intervention strategies for addressing the problem. The first are programmatic interventions that address the needs of individual students who are at risk of dropping out. The second thing are comprehensive interventions that focus on whole schools and try to improve the outcomes of all the students in the school, including students who may drop out. And the third are systemic interventions, typically done by policymakers, such as changing the compulsory schooling age or altering high school graduation requirements. Although many dropout prevention programs are plagued by poor evaluations, there are enough good evaluations with rigorous designs that have found a number of different programs that are effective in reducing dropouts and raising graduation rates. In addition, a number of specific interventions have been identified that generate economic benefits that are 2 or 3 times their costs, including preschool programs, elementary school programs, and high school reform. Clearly, investing in proven dropout prevention programs yields substantial economic benefits. In conclusion, the dropout crisis is pervasive and costly. That's the bad news. The good news is that it's received considerable attention among educators and researchers, as well as celebrities and policymakers such as Oprah Winfrey and President Barack Obama. It also appears to be getting better. The Grad Nation campaign, a coalition of advocacy and research groups, has set a national goal of a 90% graduation rate by the year 2020. We may reach that goal. The bigger challenge, however, is to eliminate the vast disparities in graduation rates among subgroups of students and among schools. To address this problem will require unprecedented efforts on the parts of researchers, educators, and policymakers to ensure that every child in America has an equal opportunity education. We owe it to them and we owe it to our nation. Thank you.